There is peace on the planet today. Such a wonderful feeling, and it's here to stay. And it can't be diminished, 'cause it comes from love. There is peace on the planet today. There is peace on the planet today. Hi, my name is Evelyn Abston. I'm the producer and the host of the Paw Stops Here, and today we have a very, very special guest. This is Marilyn Kriger, who is a world-famous cat behaviorist, and also Marilyn just wrote a book called Cat Fancy Naughty No More, and it is amazing. We're going to talk about that today. So, Marilyn, how long have you been a cat behaviorist, and what made you decide to go into the field?
Well, I have officially been a cat behaviorist since 2005, but I helped my friends before that. I used to work for a big networking company. I was a human factors engineer, and I used to help my friends with their behavior problems. I did everything I could to learn about cat behavior. But what I was finding that were so many people were surrendering their cats to shelters for very fixable behavior problems. So when I was laid off in 2005, I was like, oh, this is my opportunity.
Yes. So what kind of classes or seminars did you take to help you in your profession?
Well, I still take classes, and I go to conferences. I take lots of animal behavior as well as psychology classes and behavioral classes, whatever's available. There are conferences online, or I should say seminars online, plus there are conferences throughout the United States that I'll go to.
Oh, great. So you said psychology classes, so there's actually classes that teaches you about cat psychology, is that what I'm hearing?
Behavior.
Oh, animal behavior.
Behavior classes, and also animal behavior and cognition.
Okay. So why is it important to be certified?
Well, it's important both for the behaviorist as well as the client. As a certified cat behavior consultant, it gives me credibility, but also it means that I have, let me rephrase this. I am certified to the International Association of Animal Behavior Consultants. In order to be certified, I have to meet six core competencies. Okay, so I have to demonstrate assessment skills, counseling skills, knowledge of behavior and learning theory, and animal behavior, species-specific information, and also to know some biology about the animals and species-specific. But it's important for it's important for the clients because they want to look for somebody who's certified, because usually always the groups that certified also have ethics procedures. So if there's something that you don't think is quite right, you can file an ethics complaint. So there is some protection for the client too.
Oh, I see. So would you get a phone call from a caregiver? Is it usually the same issues or different issues?
There's so many issues that people call me about. Anything from inappropriate elimination, which is pretty much the common one, but aggression is a big one also. Scratching the furniture. They're just, shy cats, socializing shy cats. People want me to just come and train their cats too. Many, many different issues bring people to me.
And do you do phone consultations or do you meet the cat face to face, or do you do both?
I do all the above. I have clients internationally and nationally. Locally, it's nice to be able to go and meet the cat and see the whole household. But when I can't, if I'm doing a phone consultation, I ask for specific pictures that will help me identify the triggers or the causes of the behavior.
And when you start working with the cat, how long does it take to correct the unwanted behaviors, or is there a certain time limit, or?
It depends.
It depends.
Yeah, because lots of the time, or most of the time, the problems have to do with something the caregiver or the cat parent is doing or not doing. And it's important, for instance, with inappropriate elimination, there are enough cat boxes located around in good areas, and sometimes people are reticent to put more cat boxes around. So it depends on what the cat parents will do.
see. And so for rule of thumb, if you have, say you have 2 cats, how many litter boxes should you have? Would be the ideal.
Ideally, you should have 1 box per cat and 1 for the household. But if you live in a large house, you want to make sure you have multiple boxes throughout. So you may only have 1 cat and have 3 boxes. And also the age of the cat makes a difference too. Elderly cats can have incontinence, so you want to have more boxes around. Well, I am the coordinator of California Bengal Cat Rescue, so my Bengals are all rescue cats, and I have them because they had, when I got them, in behavior problems. Molly, who is my oldest and first Bengal, she's 18. She came to me extremely aggressive. You wouldn't know looking at her, but she hated everybody, people and animals alike. So, and then the Savannah came from a friend of mine who's a breeder.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Marilyn just got her book published called Cat Fancy, Naughty No More, and we're going to talk about the book. So when I was going through the book, it says that historically popular culture has dictated that cats will only do things on their own terms, and if they display undesirable behavior, this behavior can't be stopped. What do you have to say about that?
That's one of the main reasons I wrote the book, because again, so many cats are surrendered for very fixable problems. And unfortunately, there are so many myths about cats that people believe. For instance, that they can't be trained, or that they have a behavior and that it can't be fixed. And that's just not true at all. And that's one of the main reasons why I wrote the book.
Since I wanted to ask you, so this book will help cat owners or pet parents, like I like to say,
yes,
that it will help with challenges like cats who like to use furniture as their own personal scratching posts, or cats with litter box issues, or I have a cat named Oski, he's my love, but he's a counter surfer, so can your book help with that?
Absolutely. What my book does, it uses a variety of positive methods, including clicker training, which we'll talk about a little bit, but it also combines environmental management and, of course, positive reinforcement and other behavioral techniques to change behaviors.
And have you used this method with your own cat?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, especially Molly, who, as I say, she was highly aggressive when I got her, and look at her now. She's my little heart cat and loves normally to sit in my lap.
Okay. So why don't you show us a demonstration of the clicker training?
I would love to.
Marilyn is going to teach us about the basics of clicker training. So what are the basics of clicker training?
Well, first of all, clicker training is a positive reinforcement method. It's a science-based method which has its roots in Skinner, in B.F. Skinner. And you need 2 things. You need a primary reinforcer, which would be a treat. And Molly and Sudan love dehydrated sugar. They'll kill for it. And a treat is very small, and look at, she's already ready. Tiny, tiny little piece. That's the first thing you need. Now, if you don't have a cat that is food motivated, you can use affection and even grooming. Okay. Molly is highly food motivated, as you can tell. Yeah. The second thing that you need is a device that always does the same action whenever it is activated. So, for instance, if you have a cat that's deaf, you can use the flash from a flashlight. But it always does the same thing. I like the iClick clicker, and the first thing I'm going to do is pair the clicker with the treat. Okay, that's the very first thing that you do. So the way we do this, what is it, Molly? Is that and you'll notice that she's going to be purring throughout this whole thing. She absolutely loves it. So I need to have quite a few little treats. And what I'm going to do is simply click once and then toss the treat. So what I'm going to do is toss it down on the ground, but it's 1 click and then 1 treat. So, yes, Molly. I'm going to click once, here's the clicker, and then immediately toss her treat. And treat again. It takes somewhere between 5 and 20 repetitions. Molly, down, down. Away while I do this. after you pair the clicker with the treat, the next behavior is called target training, and all you want to do is have the cat touch this with her nose. Now, this helps you with timing. You want to make sure that you click just as the cat touches it, because what's going to happen, I'll do it up here so you can see. Just as she touches it, I click. Whatever I click is being reinforced, and I'm going to give her a treat. Here you go, Mommy. I wait for her to look back up at me before I recue her visually, and you'll notice that I'm letting her touch the target. Wait for her to look back up at me. She touched it with her paw. I'm not going to click and treat. I only am going to reinforce the nose. So, good girl, Mommy.
And how many times when they're getting, you say this is the first time she's ever been introduced to clicker training, how many of these?
Well, if it was, and it's not, but it would take, depending on the cat, it can take anywhere from 5 to 20 repetitions. Now, the cat has to be motivated, so if you do this right after she eats, unless the treat she absolutely adores, which she does, she won't be so motivated. Now, I'm going to put this down on the floor because I want to show you how to, come on, down you go. Come on, Molly. Come on. Oh, she said no. Do remember that she's 18 years old, so she has some cognitive stuff. Oh, good girl. Girl, Molly. Touch. Good girl, Molly. Now, I'm going to do this one more time. Now, this time, after they make the connection and they're touching it, then you put the verbal cue on after they understand the behavior. So as I'm lowering this, I'm going to say the word touch. No. Try it again. Touch. Good girl, Molly. Touch. Good girl, Molly. Okay. I'd like to show you how to teach her to sit, but we need to do that on the floor. To sit, what you do is you can use either your finger or the target to visually cue her, and have it right above her head. Good girl. And what she did is she finally went into a sit, but just as her little rear end goes down, I then will click her and treat her. You always want to make sure, nope, not doing it right away, I remove the target. Do it again. Molly. Good girl. Good. That was a very good, that's typical. You know, she wants to do something else, but as soon as she goes into a sit position, I click her. Good girl, Molly. She loves this. And then after she does this correctly, good girl, understands the behaviors through my visual cue, then I add the verbal cue, which is going to be the word sit. So what's going to happen, as I visually cue her, I'm going to say, Molly, sit. Not doing it. I wait. Try it again, Molly. Sit. Good girl, Molly. Good girl. Sit. No? Good girl. Jump. Good boy. High five. Oh, do it again. Good boy. Here we go. Okay, let's do that again, Mr. Sudan. Wait till you eat. It's about choice. If he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to. That helps him feel in, good boy, Sudan! That helps him feel more in control of his environment. Now, you don't always have to use a clicker after they really learn the behavior. Sorry. Then you can fade the clicker. You ready? Let's do a little higher, Sudan. Good boy. Good boy, Sudan. Want to high five him? Mm-hmm. Yep. Such a good boy. You can even do it a little higher. About that. Good boy, Sudan. Here you go, sit. He's such a good boy. Whoops, we have to take it down. Okay. Want to try it again? Yeah, what a good boy, Sudan. Want to sit for Mom? I'm going to do one more, and this time it'll be a little higher. If you want. Only if you want. Good boy, Sudan. That was perfect. High five. High five. So those are a few of the things he'll do. As I say, he will also open his carrier and go in and close the door in back of him. I don't know if he'll do that for you today. He might. He'll also lie down and, whoops, roll over, and you want to do more. Okay, let's do more. Good boy, Sudan. So they have to enjoy it. If they don't enjoy it, then it's not worth doing.
So a lot of people want to get a companion for their current cat that lives in the house. And I know that sometimes there could be some upset with the cat that's already there. What is a way that you can build a harmonious relationship when you're introducing a new family member?
Well, the first thing to remember is that you don't want to just bring a cat home and dump them with the other cat and say, here's your new friend. That is a recipe for trouble, to put it mildly. You need to keep the new cat separate. That new cat will need his or her own sanctuary room where she can feel comfortable and safe. And then you gradually introduce them one scent at a time. And you start with what I call pheromone exchanges. So each cat, you get a clean sock and you very carefully pet each of their cheeks with a sock right here. And then you put the sock in the other's room or other's area. You don't pet them with the sock, but you just put it there. And this is what happens. You see, there are pheromones. These are positive scents that are on these socks, and so it will help the cats get to know each other. But you can use clicker training with that too. As the cat walks by it and doesn't show any aggression or problems, you're going to click and give them a treat. So that's the first step. And then it goes from there, and there are you then encourage them to eat on each side of the closed door, and you encourage them to play. And it can take a month or longer until you can, that you introduce the cat to each other without stress.
And do you what would be body language that would say, oh, I think it's okay to introduce them face to face? Is there a certain thing that you look for? Or?
Well, that's a ways down, and you want to make sure there's no hissing and that they're playing under the door and they seem to be okay. And what you're going to do, though, is you're going to back the food dishes way away from the door and open the door while they eat and stand in between, and you gradually increase the time. You want to make sure they don't have any problems. If they do, you shut that door. You don't let them engage. But things you want to look for, if you know there's going to be aggression, the ears are flat, the eyes dilate, the tail goes back and forth, the one looks like they're going to stalk the other. When you see that, you know there's a problem. You need to shut the door.
So for people that want to get your book or call you for consultation, how can they contact you?
Well, my website is thecatcoach.com.
Such a wonderful feeling, and it's here to stay, and it can't be diminished, 'cause it comes from love. There is peace on the planet today. There is peace on the planet